Fresh off their 9th anniversary, Mankato Brewery is bringing back their rich Belgian-style quad for the first time in 12-ounce cans. Owner Tim Tupi shared stories of his family's brewing legacy, and head brewer Chris shared his deep thoughts on, well, quite a bit.
Great music lives here. We are committed to amplifying Minnesota music to keep it independent and influential. Get closer to Minnesota music with The Local Show and The Duluth Local Show, Sunday nights on The Current.
Homebrewing for me is in my blood. My great-great-great-grandfather, Minar is his last name, or Miner, opened up the first brewery in New Prague in 1885. He came from Czechoslovakia to Minnesota and the New Prague area. He very quickly opened up a brewery. He had to deal with Prohibition, his family had to deal with it. He since then sold that brewery. I always just felt like it was something that I want to bring back. That was just something I was really proud of my heritage, to say that Mankato Brewery can have a legacy that I feel proud of my ancestors that opened up brewing back in the 1885 in Minnesota. Minars were the first one that opened up the brewery in New Prague. The last family that owned that business was the Rybaks. You could also pronounce this Rybak. So when we first opened up the brewery back in 2012, I had a phone call from Mayor R.T. Rybak, called here asking for me by name. Nobody wants to have a mayor of any city call you. I was like, oh my God, like, can the mayor of a city of Minneapolis call me because somebody fell maybe and had too much of our beer and our cans were laying there? All this stuff is going through my brain. Mayor Rybak had called me to tell me that it was his grandfather was the last person that actually owned the brewery in New Prague. So it was Rybak Brewery, Rybak Bottling. So it was really cool to have him call me, and he was congratulating us on the fact that he felt that there was something in his heritage was tied to Mankato Brewery, was the mayor of Minneapolis calling to congratulate us. When we first started, we only had 12 breweries in the state of Minnesota. When we opened, we were number 20. We still feel like young kids at heart, what we're doing and having fun every day. But we've been around for quite a while, and it just doesn't seem like that when we're thinking about what we do every day. When I think about our beer at Mankato Brewery, I think about two main beers as our core brands. We have Mad Butcher, our IPA, that's nice and juicy, great grapefruit character on it. That's our most popular beer that we have. And then also Ruby, our rhubarb sour. Mankato Brewery's Belgian Quad is a beer that's gonna be great from a malt balance, but also not enough to actually hide what the yeast is doing for it. And that's the one thing that we're really proud of this beer. Great malt, great color. That yeast is just right up there in front, so you're gonna just smell all those flavors in there. It's just perfect.
What you will be tasting has been sitting for a year, and it is not spoiled. It isn't bad. It's not even close to reminiscent to how my college brews were. But it has and carries every single intent and feeling that my rebellious 19-year-old, hey, I'm gonna drink even though it's not legal mentality had. It's a very estery beer, which means it has kind of some unique aroma and flavor based on the yeast profile. The esters that you get are clove to almost bubblegum. This particular style of beer used to actually be aerated and sprayed into the vessel. As you can see behind me, we don't have any open fermentation source, so we actually did bubble up some oxygen throughout the process to help kind of favor that note. And I know that there are going to be beer nerds that are hearing me saying this and going, oh, oxygen in beer, that's staling the beer, what are you doing? That to its style, the oxygen in it gives it that sweetness, almost that cherry-like finish, and also the bubblegummy notes that hearty, strong Belgian yeast gives off.
So about 4 years ago, when we switched from bottles to cans, we just were talking about what do we do for our branding. We started liking the look and feel of that 50s pop art culture, and how do we replicate that on a can? Of course, the old school comic book vibe was very near and dear to a lot of the brewers here and the people here, really liking both comic, video games, things from that nature. So we took that approach on our cans in the 12-ounce style, where we could create 4 panels to tell a story as you look at the can and have it as your one page in that comic book. We work with a guy that actually does comic book design for Marvel Comics. So when we look at the can, we want to be able to see a branding and image, and then we could have a story that talks about the beer. We want to have something that tells the story, maybe not just the beer, but what it is, something fun, more tongue-in-cheek, that plays into the comic book vibe. We have a side image that has a fun character spin-off of the main image.
We're not going to be excited about trying to break or create new boundaries this year. It's not about us pushing the limit. It's us making good beer that we can appreciate and respect. We're not throwing anything new at you for this year, but what we are doing is the best of what we remember and what we know. We do have a raspberry blonde that we're working on that is very promising for me. I'm also really excited to be releasing a Baltic Porter, which will actually be releasing about the time to where you'll be having the quad.
Our anniversary is the 5th of January. That was our 9-year anniversary from when we packaged, or actually sold, our first beer. Obviously, with COVID, we weren't able to have our anniversary party on January 5th. Our plan is we're gonna have our 9.5-year birthday party, our anniversary party, will be in the summer of 2021. Information will be funneled out as we get closer to the summer of 2021 to celebrate our 9.5-year birthday party.
Thank you for participating in Beer Dabbler in a Box Season 5. It's meant a lot for you to take the time to get to know us a little bit better.
So cheers, and celebrate Minnesota craft beer. Cheers.